Hello and welcome to week 8 here in History of Psychology, and I have some good news for all of you. Rebecca is home and well and recovering, and I don't know any more about what happened, but I insisted that she take the semester off and rest, and she has been grateful for that. So I'll be taking us through the end of this course, but be assured she will return, and all seems to be on the mend. So I'm very happy to report that to all of you. But you are stuck with me for the rest of the semester. So, Chapter 8. Well, before I go into that, I do want to say that I spent the reason I'm putting this video out so late. I spent all day today grading everything that needs to be graded for midterm grades. And your writing, Rebecca's expectations for lots of writing has really very impressive. I usually don't require that much writing, but some of you have been very verbose in your discussions and in your quiz answers. And although I don't I'm not necessarily looking for that, I am impressed with the effect that her standards have on your behavior. I think you should be very proud of that. You really stepped up to the plate, delivered really good work. Carry on. I enjoyed getting everything graded and getting everything up to speed and whatnot. So, but that was good. Here we are in Chapter 8, Applied Psychology. The legacy of functional psychology is really, you had the structuralists that are looking at how does the brain work, what parts of the brain interact, what rules interact, create those relationships when I'm going through something. And then we have the functionalist, which is why do we have this? And it sort of is the birth of what we would call applied psychology, which is huge part of psychology these days. So there's two discussions. One has to do with intelligence testing and bias. So think of intelligence testing in the concept of applied psychology. So here we have this structuralist point of view of what is intelligence, and then we create a test to measure those things, and we take it, which is, here's my processes, and here's the way I can demonstrate it, and then we apply it. Well, where could we, who wants to know about how smart we are? Probably schools, maybe employers, maybe potential partners want to know that, and that's the way we apply this sort of functionalist perspective of the structure of our thinking processes to different circumstances. So in this case, we're looking at intelligence testing, but there's bias built into that. So intelligence testing, because it's been overused, misinterpreted, and because many of the tests that came out at the beginning and even to this day contain biases based on who developed the test and who they're developing the test for, the specifications of their sample for the validation of that testing. All of that affects the validity of the test in terms of its bias. So a discussion about that. And then in discussion B, we're looking at maybe the ethics of testing and making decisions based on that. Like, to think about, there's probably some people in this class who perceive themselves as poor testers. So if I took you, put you in a room, sat there watching you with, a mean expectation of expression, a mean expression of expectation on my face, you might freeze, it's not, and you would see that testing, this sort of momentary observation of your behavior in the form of taking a test, may not be the best way to get to know you, for example. Testing might not be the best way that you can express what you know. It is a standard within the culture of our educational system to have you do things that demonstrate that you know how to do them. Testing. And testing can be paper and pencil. They can be observing what you're doing. It could be producing some sort of performance. It can be anything. All of that is all under the umbrella of testing. And there's certainly advantages to that. Basically show me the money. But then we understand that those testing circumstances are artificial. They're not real world. It should I'm not going to say any more. You guys discuss it. So there's just two discussions. I have graded everything right up until midterm, but I also posted the issue at Chapter 7 quiz. Now, Chapter 7 quiz was supposed to be looking at a personal experience from both the structuralist and functionalist point of view. And as I started grading them, I started to realize that I don't think, everybody had to do a lot of modifications to their answers for them to fit what I was looking for. So it eventually became clear to me that I probably didn't teach it well. When you start getting everybody's not giving you what you want, you kind of have to look in the mirror about that. And so I basically canceled that test, gave everybody a 100 on it, and we're moving on. The idea was, let's say I'm going to talk about something that I'm scared of. So I walk up here into my office and there's a big tarantula. That would be horrible. That'd be a very bad day. But big tarantula right on the floor, and I'm frightened with it. So I could talk about that fear response from a structural point of view, my vision system, my interpretation, the where and when, where and what is that, the identification of it, the perception of the danger and stuff like that. But then when I think about functional, I start to move into areas as to why do I need that? The evolutionary experience of being fearful of spiders, my desire to move into a place where I can get away from that spider and have somebody come over, take care of it. And why do I have these physiological responses so I can respond appropriately to this stimulus and move out of the way? That's the kind of thing I was looking for. I can't even really give a good example myself, so I need to go back and rethink that quiz. I still think it's a good idea to look at things through this process of the history of psychology, moving from focusing just on structure into function and then applied. But I think I may have to tie all three of those together across 3 chapters if I want to have a quiz like this. So, short story. I've canceled the quiz, gave everybody 100. Don't worry. There was still some great stuff in there, but it was just so much not what I was looking for. It was just, and I'm going to blame myself for that. So anyway, don't worry about Chapter 7 quiz. So that's that. So that's this week, 2 discussions. Then we have break week. So that will be coming up. I'll be just posting some, I won't be doing a video for that, but, posting some announcements about break week. And certainly something we all deserve to have here this coming week. So finish this week strong. Have a little bit, hopefully have less to do during that week when we're on break, which would be great. And enjoy these 2 discussions, and I look forward to seeing what you have to say on these topics. Take care.